What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Common Sense Living, the show where we dive into financial and economic trends, gold and silver, and various business topics. So, in today's episode, I want to discuss why I think silver and gold as well are really in a win win situation this year in 2023 with what's happening now. And I want to focus and zero in on interest rates and where they're going to go specifically at this point or what different paths they could take. So let's look at two different scenarios. And what you're going to see from both these scenarios is that silver's really in a win win situation in terms of price this year and still if the price staying elevated and going what I believe is going to be a little bit higher, maybe approaching $30 an ounce. So the first scenario is that the Fed pauses and then the Fed cuts rates maybe even later this year. Now, in the event a rate cut happens, it's going to be clear that if the Fed goes ahead and does this, that liquidity is going to be needed in the economy, and we're going to be needing more cash flow. And this is what I expect is going to happen as we fall into a recession later this year and the Fed ultimately is folds to the powers that be. There's going to be an election coming up the following year. So if it doesn't occur later in 2023, the writing's pretty much going to be on the wall that it's going to be happening in 2024. And Wall Street will go ahead and they'll just price in this rate cut as soon as they believe that something like this is going to happen. Now, as soon as that does, that expectation is there, what's going to happen is the dollar's going to weaken and you're going to see gold and silver prices are going to get a boost. Also, with the rate cuts, we can also expect more economic activity to pick up and industrial demand's going to increase as a result of that economic activity increasing, and that'll be the industrial demand is definitely going to affect silver more when that's needed. So with more industries needing more silver in the future, we can expect the price of silver to move up, and it's something that's definitely as more and more electrifications going on. Silver is definitely going to be something needed not only in developed countries like ours in Europe, but also emerging markets as well. So the second scenario is that the Fed keeps increasing rates as inflation remains high. And while I don't think that this is out of the realm, I don't think that there's too many more rate hikes that are going to come this year. I don't think that the economy can really handle it. And there's a couple reasons why, if this happens, if we see inflation remain high, it's stubborn, there's a couple of reasons why gold and silver prices will still go up from here. So one is that people they're going to want to preserve their purchasing power, and in my opinion, we can expect to see more and more people coming in and buying precious metals, and I think that that's definitely happened a lot the last year or greater, because more people are seeing their purchasing power eroded and more people are jumping into buying silver, buying gold, learning about it. Now, another reason is that with rates high, stocks will continue to struggle and people are also going to look in to jump into other assets as well. Now, this can include, other things like real estate, or real other real assets like potentially land, machinery. But gold and silver here, much easier to manage. You can get in for a much smaller payment here. You don't have to take on debt. Now, in the scenario that Fed keeps increasing rates, inflation, it's going to be high, it's going to be sticky and troubling for the economy, and it's not going to allow as much free money that the Fed's not going to be able to produce it through monetary policy. But we know that the federal government and their fiscal policy is going to have no problem here stepping in, giving out checks, especially when an election year is approaching in 2024. The White House is not going to have any issue doing that. And this year, it's going to drive investors, stackers, others who realize purchasing power is being eroded. It's going to drive them into precious metals. So that's my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments in terms of what could negatively affect the price this year, and also if there's anything on the positive end that's going to boost the price as well. I think it's going to be a terrific year overall for gold and silver price wise. Um, and I only hope the prices don't go so high or the demand gets so high that it just becomes tough to stack and you really can't find anything. The premiums just get too high. Appreciate if you enjoyed the video, hitting the like button, and if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks a lot.